Excelencia High School. Tales of high school. It's a small and the flags and above any fire. High school. Tales of high school. We coming your way, no limits, no bounds. High school. Tales of high school. Life no be gitty gitty, if you rush you go crush. High school.
Another lovely segment of Tales of High School live studio discussion. And I'm your host, the original Daniel. And we know how we do it over here. High school. Tales of High School. Tales of High School.
Watch and learn.
Tales of High School.
Watch and learn.
Tales of High School.
Watch and learn.
Okay, we're back again. And it's been a very, very lovely month. It's been a beautiful month, and we thank God for seeing us through. We are in a new month. It's called November. But before we move on, we'll be seeing a short recap of the story so far, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Tales of high school.
Oh, it go belly your brain. Take up. Why? Are the red then kind ganja planters give you?
Candidate, I like will come and come on, go build up your faith.
Jay come out. The president was called from me. I could wait.
The president has called me too, so you follow me. Let's get it.
Really?
Capella.
You can't find your legs. I can't find my legs. The guy goes smoke with. Brother man in it, man. He goes smoke with.
All sort of them. Introducing Aquile.
I like your tomorrow, we carry you can speak and see what you can do. Foolish boy.
This one,
Bring water. My God! More water! Hey, what did they do?
I will give my school father.
Won't come again.
I told you, didn't they teach you? You have to knock.
So now you get sense, eh? Now you get sense.
This one is good. Hey, start afresh. Hey, well, I want me to go back to work here. What is in your bowl?
What is that?
That one is for an apple.
Sweat it. Aiko. Excuse me. Are you communicating with me?
Ayaka, engineer party.
Are you fan of missing class or your truant?
I repeat, it is actually not my idiosyncratic nature.
Sit down.
You are going towards me some called for.
Sit down. Said a shake.
Why did you react towards him like that in class? Say Jacob. Can you imagine?
Can you turn around?
Turn around?
Yes, just turn around. I want to see something. You know what? I want you to come to my bungalow this evening.
What's wrong?
I just want us to have fun. You know, beautiful, right?
Yeah, my daddy always tells me
Really? Okay, so I'll see you after preps. Don't let anybody see you come into my place, okay?
Okay.
And we're back inside the shake, and I can't wait to introduce my amazing guests today. Today we'll be discussing peer pressure in our schools, negative and positive. So for my guests over here, I'm pleased, I'm privileged, I'm honored to have Mr. Wayne Dravi here and Mrs. Jibodi Dute. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Yes, Mr. Wayne is a filmmaker, while Mrs. Jibodi is a pharmacy technician. Yes, so I can't wait to get on the show. We'll be having our first question, and I would also like to let our viewers at home know that you can join the conversation. You can send in your comments, send your suggestions, send your question on our phone lines on 0244 856769. I repeat, 0244 856769. Now, back to our discussion. Ladies first.
Okay.
Okay, my first question. How would you define peer pressure according to your opinion?
Okay, thank you. I love it when you said according to my opinion, because peer pressure is, even as grown-ups or as grown-ups, we still undergo peer pressure. I would say, shortly, I would say that peer pressure is not being you. You try to copy someone.
Okay.
You want to be someone. Meanwhile, you are not that person. You want to do things that that person is doing, or you are being influenced by the actions of what your friend or your mate or a colleague is doing. In short, that's how I would describe peer pressure.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mr. Wayne will have something to say.
Definitely. To
Yes.
add to what Jibodi said here, I mean, peer pressure in lay people's understanding is when, people of the same sex, race, or age, or sometimes belong to a social group, are moved to do some of these things that otherwise they won't do it. You get me? Just to be accepted or respected by their peers. Maybe there's a group of people who, would influence you or move you to smoke weed when ideally you wouldn't do it. So that is the pressure. It's just an influence that people have on people who don't have strong will.
Wow.
Definitely.
That's interesting. And I'm sure our guests have a lot to say. We have those of you who are still in the system, our Indomie generation. You have something to say about peer pressure. Anybody, please? I can see, yes.
Okay. Like they've said a lot.
Okay.
Peer pressure is maybe, to my definition, I would say peer pressure is like, according to what she said, it's what like you see what other people are doing and you want to do, you want to copy. Example, maybe smoking. Maybe your friend is smoking, and then maybe you want to, like, we are so curious. We want to know things. You understand? So you want to experience what they are doing, or you want to do what they are doing. You understand? Yes. So that's what I would say about my peer pressure.
Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting. But you notice some people, I think people are drawn to what they have interest in. They are drawn to the things they like. You have people drawn to church services. You have people drawn to other activities. These kids drawn to smoking and all this bad. You see, peer pressure as a whole itself, once it's mentioned, it brings up this kind of bad vibe. There's always this bad vibe circulating it. So back to you, Mr. Wayne. Do you think peer pressure has any positive effects?
Definitely. Growing up, we've understood that when you hear peer pressure, then it has to be negative. But unfortunately, it's not so, because when you have people who, like I give an example, when you have a group of friends who would influence you to start smoking weed, there are that same group of friends who can influence you to what? Read more, up your grades, study, maybe excel at sports and activity. So that is good peer pressure. So it's not always the negative that, is to play. But then again, bad news, they say what? Travels fast. So there's a way that some of these negativity, we hear about them and we know about them very fast than the positivity. So there's good peer pressure. It's not always about bad peer pressure, no.
Well, Jibodi, on the other hand, seems to be agreeing with you so much. So what do you think are some of the effects of positive peer pressure?
For me, I always use myself as an example. I actually came from a background where my father was an ex-military man, very strict. So, everything is like I want it this way. I want it this way. So the positive impact, I had it, because mine was to do the learning and his was to do the paying of my fees.
Okay.
So it was an agreement between me and my dad. So you better do your side, and then I also do my side. Yes. There are positive ways. Once I said I'll use myself as an example. I grew up in the barracks. I went to school. Actually, I'm an old student of Agri Memorial Science Secondary School.
Oh. Wow.
Yes, so I'm really proud of my school. And going to Agri, I remember my dad was like, if I talk to a guy, I'll get pregnant. Can you can you imagine how, you know? And as naive that I was, like about 20 years ago, I was like, hey, this man, what is he trying to mean? And it got to me. It actually got to me. So I took it, and I wasn't the type that will talk to even my classmates. All I was very good in doing was on the field. I was a sports girl. And I was also, once again, influenced again by the sports guys and ladies. So I made sure I did my best in that aspect. I wouldn't want to find myself doing something contrary to my father's instruction. So that is, you know, as I said, I always use myself as an example. So it was a positive impact. Although I met friends, people who were, you know, but then I never followed the crowd. I just went to school to learn. That's what number one, that's what I was told to do. And so if I don't learn, that means my fees are not going to be paid. So that was what I had, and I just moved on with it. So if I say peer pressure had influence on me, the positive side, I've had it. Yeah, but I've never, maybe once in a while I've maybe messed up, but not greater than the positive ones. Yeah.
We've heard so many stories about people growing up under military men and military families, and we hear that their skin is made of steel and their blood is not red like ours. How does it feel growing up? Is it difficult?
I happen to fall in a family where all my uncles, my cousins, a lot of them were all in the military. So going out from my home was when I'd finished JHS. I hardly knew anywhere. My first place was in agri school, and these are kind of like a group of people I'm going to be with for the next 3 years. And it wasn't fun, because I was actually meeting people. You know, in agri we had the bridge, the girl side, we moved to the boy side. Every day you are meeting people, different people, those who are snobbish, those who are the dadabis, you know, kind of. But then at the end of the day, I was told to go to school and learn, and my fees will be paid. So I just have to adhere to that. And coming from a background where my father is, this is it, we are all sharing it, that's it. It's not that military people are hard people, no. It's just that they are disciplined, they have some kind of discipline with them. When you compare the military with the civil life, there are two different lives altogether. Yes, so growing up in the military discipline, even as at now, when the civilian does something, I'm like, ugh. Because it's still in me. I don't see the reason why you should do that. I've been taught to walk briskly. I've been taught to dress up in the next 30 minutes. I should be ready for class, you know, that kind. So when I see you doing contrary to that, I'm like, oh, what's he doing?
Conversation is getting very, very interesting, and I'm sure our viewers at home are psyched. And if you want to join the conversation, get interactive with us, WhatsApp us on 0244 856769. Please don't call. WhatsApp us on 0244 856769. And to my audience, I'm sure you'd like to see something. What are some of the positive effects? Or is it just the bad ones you get? Do you smoke? Or are they positive? What are the kind of positive effects you get from peer pressure?
Okay, I think I've also had so many positive effects from peer pressure. I have friends, way back to SHS, I have friends who really learn. And I wasn't that much into books. But I have these friends, and it's like anytime we get to class, when a question is being asked or something, it's like everyone is looking up to them. And because we are always together, once they've answered the question, the next person, everyone is expecting me to answer. So at a point in time, I feel bad when my friends are talking, like they mostly talk in class, and it looks like I don't partake in it. So the best thing I have to do is to follow their footsteps. I mean, to learn just as they've been doing. So anytime they are going to where we used to learn, I have to follow them and do what they are doing. Before then, anytime they are learning, I'll be somewhere dancing and all that. So I have to put so I have to put that one aside and then follow them. And at the end of the day, we were chosen to be 4 best literature students for my school, and I'm proud of that.
Wow. That's an amazing testimony of positive peer pressure. So we have those who drive positive peer pressure, we have those who drive the negative. So you, my viewers at home, my students at home, what are you driving? Are you driving the negative? Are you producing more weed smokers, or are you producing more prominent people? Think about it and ask yourself. Analyze this question very well. Okay, to the next question. Peer pressure. Do you think there has been any change? Like, is there anything different about peer pressure?
Definitely. In our time, I mean, there was no options when it comes to internet. You know, now we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Snapchat. I mean, you know them all. You know, so then the limitation to peer pressure was, you know, it wasn't wide, where you can have anybody just be on the internet. You don't even see the person sometimes incite you to just start smoking or start shooting people at random. You know, but now it's just, you know, going way higher. So now the peer pressure is serious. Wow. Before, maybe just a group of people, you know, let's go and watch some X-rated materials here and there, discuss it, you know, the stealing. I keep saying that sometimes, you know, it takes a strong-willed person to, you know, say, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick to my, you know, what I know from home. The home training is what, you know, I'm here to study. So why on earth would I join a group of friends to go to the bush and do some, you know, kush? So it takes a very strong-willed person, you know. But now it's just wide, you know. You go everywhere, and there's peer pressure on Facebook, there's peer pressure on Instagram. Just like, you know, the lady was talking. You know, this show, you can equally say it's a positive peer pressure, because she clearly was a bit shy. But, you know, the way she was talking, it means what? From the show, her confidence is being boosted. You get it? Yeah. So, I mean, some of these things are what we are used to right now. So we need to be very, very careful. The kind of friends we make, you know, on the internet. It's terrible. Because some of these people, they prey on our innocence. You don't see them. So you can't even report them. But, you know, the rate at which they can reach when it comes to some of these peer pressure, it's unimaginable. You know, so they hide behind some of these social networks, and then they do some of these things, and if you're not careful, your life is ruined. You know, somebody can be all the way in the US and still pressurize you negatively. You know, be disrespectful at home, maybe get into some of these, sorry to say, porn movies and all that. And that is all negative peer pressure. And the person is not physically with you. You get me? So now the extent of which peer pressure is wide. We can't say before, where maybe everybody will agree with me that sometimes, you know, I mean, there was no Facebook at the time. You know, there was no Instagram. It wasn't the addiction at the time, where you post nude pictures of yourself and then your followers, you get how many likes? I mean, can you imagine? It's you get friends
as much as technology is advancing.
Exactly.
Peer pressure is also advancing.
That's right.
We are having some very, very amazing comments coming here from our viewers. One here says, "This is Wisdom from Akachi in the Volta region. I think peer pressure has its advantage and disadvantage. The only thing is that you have to reflect your own self and see if you have been led astray. because when I was at senior high school, I was almost led astray. But by the help of reflection, by trying to remember my background, this era song titled Know Where You Come From Before You Make a Friend. So he was motivated from that. You also have another one coming again. It says, good evening, my name is Matthias Adugu, and I'm happy about the program. May God bless you. May God bless you. May God bless you. My son went to Keta school, okay? And all of a sudden his life has changed, and may God keep us as parents. Okay. Amen. More coming in. It says the lady's testimony is awesome. So this is an example of a positive peer pressure. Exactly. You are actually doing something. And you have another one saying peer pressure is everywhere now, especially on social media. It said, I'm watching your show now, it's amazing. And I'm Dinah. Peer pressure is naturally more of socializing. There are more of negatives and positives. Usually, it's a problem of influence through the media and people you associate with on a daily basis, like seeing nudes on Facebook that affect you. Watch what you post, my people. Watch what you post. Don't post because you have 10 megabytes or some phone. Think about what you post before you post it. Oh no, seriously. Like we have people who are easily intimidated by this thing, like people who you can easily influence by this. Right. Watch what you post. Don't just post. Okay, so in as much as you are sending your comments, also remember to follow us on Nice One Entertainment on all social media handles. We don't encourage you to smoke. We will teach you better things. It's there inside. Yeah, so follow us on all social media, Nice One Entertainment. I'll be taking my final submission from you. Okay. How do you see peer pressure today?
Like he said, it's more advanced, but it's everywhere. In my first submission, I said it doesn't really, it's not for only kids or boys and girls, or it's for the grown-ups as well. Yes, we also go through it. Grown-ups also go through. So I think Wayne was saying that it's a will. So if you have the will to stand it, then I think it's better. You just have to tell yourself, I have to be me. Be you, and not someone else.
Okay. So I would also like to let you know that Tales of High School will be moving on set this December, and we are casting call. So if you know you're interested in joining this big family of Nice One Entertainment, be sure to text us on the number 0244-856769. And also we'll be embarking on school tours. So if you're interested, if you're an entertainment master, you're entertainment prefect, you can also do the same by texting us on WhatsApp. So yes, I'll be taking my final submission from you, Mr. Wayne. As a filmmaker, how would you rate Tales of High School?
Excellent. I'll rate it, I think over 100. I'll give it a 200. It's an amazing
Wow.
It's an amazing show. I mean, I've been watching, this is my very first time on this show. I've been watching this show from home, and I keep saying that. I mean, if people like Malco and others are giving this platform to our future leaders to shine, then there's a hope. You get me? Yeah. And this is positive peer pressure, because I was shy, but now on the show, my confidence is boosted. Definitely. So then I think my final submission, I'll just hope that our parents get closer, they draw closer to, us, the children, and they can even influence us positively. They should be our friends. They should listen to us. It's not everything about, just like the body was saying. We can have autocratic parenting, which is bad. They should listen to us. And then that way, if maybe Kwabena or AC has taught me how to twerk or how to smoke weed, I can come and share with mommy, daddy, what is this? I mean, that close relationship would enable her or him to stop me from doing it. So I think it's high time our parents got closer to us.
Well, you heard it, our viewers. We scored 200%. I don't even know if that's possible.
Yeah, that is possible.
But we scored 200%. And if you know you're a sponsor out there, your company, organization would like to sponsor the show, be sure to text us on 0244-856769. I must say it's been an amazing show. I'm very happy to have you. You've taught me, my amazing guest, the testimony. It's been great. My lovely viewers, I want to thank you for the submission, the comments, and everything. Don't forget to follow us on social media, Nice One Entertainment, on all platforms, and we'll follow you right back. So it's been amazing. Join us same time next week. Bye-bye.
Nice ones in your high school. Academic excellence, yeah. High school. Tales of high school. It's a small and the flex and above any fire. High school. Tales of high school. We coming your way, no limits, no bounds. High school. Tales of high school. Life no be giddy giddy if you rush you go crash. High school.